Research continues to prove that those who practice gratitude daily are actually happier and healthier, and also less likely to experience things like depression or mental illness. So why not? Why wouldn't we all want to practice a little bit more gratitude and appreciation in our lives? Your performance at work will improve when you are happier and healthier. And so the mindset that we bring to this gratitude is that if we can practice this daily, that is not only good for us, but certainly good for everyone around us. That what thoughts are occupying our minds, because where we look is where we go. If the path that we choose is then of positive, if we choose to seek solutions rather than blame. And so gratitude and appreciation is a superpower. And that's what we're going to talk more about on today's episode.
Welcome back to The Thermostat with Jason Barger. If you're currently on a commute, a walk, or just a micro break in your day, glad you're making time to step back, to think, and to reflect on the next steps on your journey. I've never been more convinced. The best leaders and team cultures in the world are the ones that make time to step back and calibrate their thermostat. I hope today's conversation leaves you feeling grounded and inspired. Now let's dive into today's topic to engage our minds and hearts in order to authentically lead and create compelling cultures wherever we are in the world.
Hey everybody, it's Jason, and welcome back to the Thermostat Podcast, wherever you are and however you are coming to the podcast today. Welcome back. So glad you are here. If you're somebody that's been here from the very beginning, welcome back. And if you are new to the podcast, then welcome. We're so glad you're here. We've got nearly 100 episodes, and so excited about the energy, the development, the way that these messages are being amplified all over the world. We want this to be a place all the time, a place for you in your own journey and your own practice as a human being, let alone as a leader, to step back, to think, and then to be filled with some positive mindsets around how you're developing leaders and culture. So glad that you are here. The past 2 years have made me more convinced of this than ever, that developing authentic leadership and creating culture is as needed as ever in the world that we live in today. So thank you for doing your part and for being a part of the podcast today. If you will do me a favor, if you will take a moment and just rate this podcast, 5 stars, of course, I hope, but also leave a nice review on whatever podcast platform you're using. Those are the ways that the algorithms recognize this podcast and help share it so more and more people can access it and know of it. So please take a moment to rate and review. I appreciate everybody who does that. I also appreciate people who share about this podcast on social media, tell their friends about it, help amplify these messages out further in the world. When you hear something you think is good, worthy of sharing, thank you for being somebody who shares it and amplifies the messages. That's also the way that these good messages are shared around the world. I know we're a few weeks removed now from the great Thermostat Cultures Live event that we did back at the end of October, but I just want to say thank you to everybody out there who was a part of that event, either in person in Columbus, Ohio, passionate, fun, engaging in-person kind of VIP, smaller, intimate group. That was so awesome to be a part of. So many cool people in the room. And then everybody who participated virtually. What a great experience that was. And really thank you for being there. So I hope it was a great thing, and I look forward to doing it again in the future. And I hope you were excited about it too. On this season of the podcast, we've been talking about navigating the future of work. You know, this phrase, the future of work, which we know we've been talking about, is still being created. Nobody has it all figured out, but we together are going to be the ones to figure out and co-create what that future of work looks like. We've been talking about the reality of these phrases like the Great Resignation and the Big Shift, the war for talent that's taking on, the remote work. And ultimately, we've been talking about how do we lead and create culture that engages the minds and hearts of people during times of change. And so it's been a really important and impactful season. And so I hope you've been enjoying these episodes. Today on the podcast, it is Thanksgiving week and a time to be grateful, a time to be appreciative for all that we have in our lives. But gratitude is powerful for all of us, certainly as human beings, but it's also a powerful force within our teams, within our organizations, when we practice the superpower of genuine appreciation and gratitude with all around us. So on today's podcast, we're going to focus on what is that superpower of genuine appreciation and gratitude for everything and everyone around us. Part of the mindset that I bring to this topic is that, research continues to prove that those who practice gratitude daily are actually happier and healthier, and also less likely to experience things like depression or mental illness. So there's all kinds of research and study out there that if people just practice and live this spirit of gratitude daily in their own lives, that they end up being happier, healthier, and less likely to experience depression or mental illness. So why not? Why wouldn't we all want to practice a little bit more gratitude and appreciation in our lives, a spirit of thankfulness? Because not only does it make us happier and healthier in our own lives, but if you want to think about it from your own team or organization and from an ROI perspective, all the results also improve, that your performance at work will improve when you are happier and healthier. And so the mindset that we bring to this gratitude is that if we can practice this daily, that is not only good for us, but certainly good for everyone around us, and certainly the performance for whatever it is that we're giving our attention to. And speaking of giving our attention to, we've talked about this on many different podcasts, but the idea of where we look is where we go. Where we look is where we go. You know that I talk about that from a leadership and culture perspective all the time, that what thoughts are occupying our minds? What are those things that are occupying our minds? What are we feeding our minds with each day? Because where we look is where we go. Where we look, our bodies will follow. And so if there is a particular line of thinking or particular thoughts that we're feeding our minds with each day, that's typically where our bodies will follow. That's where our minds will go. We'll go down that path, because where we look is where we go. And so if the path we go down, or the food that we give our brains, or the thoughts that we let occupy our brain, if they are thoughts of negativity, of blame, of division, of anger, of finger pointing, or excuses, then where we look is where we go. That's, if that's what we give our minds to, then that's where we will go. And if the path that we choose is then of positive, feeding ourselves not naively, but if we choose to think positively and optimistic about a situation, if we choose to seek solutions rather than blame, if we choose to take ownership for what part of it do we own rather than finger pointing and excuses or blame for somebody else, and if we also think about things through a lens of gratitude and appreciation, then where we look is where we go. And so gratitude and appreciation is a superpower for us to individually and collectively, not only just as human beings, but for the team cultures that we are a part of. And that's what we're going to talk more about on today's episode. So let's pause for a quick break, and we'll be right back.
Many teams and organizations right now are realizing they need to do both. They need to engage the minds and hearts of their people in person, bring people back together in person, and continue to engage the minds and hearts of their people virtually. So whether you're planning that next event, that power in congregation, the power and the energy that comes from bringing all your people into the same room, into the same space for that important meeting or conference, and you need a powerful keynote speech or facilitated team discussion or facilitated conversation that is the currency for change about leadership, about the culture that you're trying to create together, or the mindset that is needed to navigate all that is in front of you, whether you're planning that in person or you need to do that virtually. I hope that we can be a resource to you and support you in that effort. If so, contact us at jasonvbarger.com, at jasonvbarger.com, if we can partner with you to help engage the minds and hearts of your people in these important times.
This week, as we lead up to Thanksgiving, let's practice the superpower of gratitude and appreciation by being thankful for everything. And part of this episode today of practicing the superpower of gratitude and appreciation, I want to make sure that we are being thankful for these, 6 things. Certainly, it's worth being grateful and appreciative of more than these 6 things, but why not start with this practice of the superpower of gratitude and appreciation by being thankful for these 6 things. Thankful for opportunity. Acknowledge and name all that you have been given, that you are experiencing right now. And acknowledge the opportunity that you have in front of you. The opportunities not only that you've been given in the past, but the opportunities that you have right in front of you. Part of this superpower of gratitude and appreciation is by us pausing and stepping back today and acknowledging the opportunities we've been given in the past, and then also the opportunity that may be in front of us right now, and acknowledge and name that opportunity. This superpower of gratitude and appreciation comes to life by being thankful for support. To step back and think about who are the people that have been supporting you, not only in your past, but who supports you now. Who has supported you and helped you get to where you are in your life or your career, the relationships that you've had. So this superpower also comes to life when we step back and we think about who has been supportive of us and helped us get to where we are and helped us develop into the people that we are. Part of being thankful for and practicing this superpower of gratitude and appreciation is when we are thankful for the people. We're actually stop and step back and be thankful for and appreciate the people around us. So who do you appreciate? Who do you appreciate that not only has come in your life leading up to today, but who do you appreciate right now as you look across the landscape of your life and work? Who do you appreciate? Who are you grateful for? And whoever's coming to mind right now, make sure that you go out and tell them. Tell them. Pull them aside. Write them a note. Send them a message that just says, hey, I appreciate you and I'm grateful for you as a person. We need to be grateful and show appreciation for our surroundings. Look around. Oftentimes we're moving so quickly that we don't stop to step back and to look around, but look around. What is to be appreciated about your environment, about the organization you're a part of, about the team you're lucky to have, about your home, your community, your place in the world? What is it about your surroundings that you have to be grateful for and that you appreciate? We need to be thankful for also acknowledging growth. To be acknowledging growth and acknowledging that challenges, that all of us, no person ever goes through life without challenges, without obstacles, without adversity. And so stepping back and to acknowledge, where are the places that we are growing right now? Where is it that you are grateful for and showing appreciation for the ways in which you're growing is also something to appreciate. And what ways are you grateful for how you are growing, how you are developing, or how you're learning? And lastly, how can we be thankful for and to step back and to appreciate and show gratitude for choice? To stop for a second, to step back and appreciate the beauty of having choice, having freedom, having an ability to choose what you want to do next and what you want to be for other people, what temperature you want to set in your own life and for the people around us. And to think about, what is that for you? What is that choice that you want to make? And to stop and step back and say, you know what? I'm just appreciative and grateful for the fact that you get to be someone who makes a choice for how you want to show up, what you want that response to be next, and that to have gratitude for the fact that you get to make a choice. So breathe in appreciation and gratitude for this day. breathe in appreciation and gratitude this week, in a week of Thanksgiving, to allow yourselves to breathe in. What do you appreciate? What are you grateful for? Because it's powerful. It gives energy. And every time that we are calibrating our own personal thermostat, we're becoming more aware, we're recognizing how we feel and how we think, and we enter it with a spirit of appreciation and gratitude, that it impacts where we look is where we go. It impacts our response. And so us personally, as we calibrate our own personal thermostat, we also then begin to calibrate what is our response and our social awareness and relationships that we're building with the people around us. And that every time we're aware of those things and we set the temperature we want, that we are practicing emotional intelligence. We are the thermostats. We're the ones that our own internal temperature sets a temperature externally for other people based on our own response and our own behaviors. So what is that temperature that we want to set? And as always, I want to ask a few questions for us that will guide us in this week of Thanksgiving and this time of appreciation and gratitude. So some questions to ponder. How can you practice appreciation and gratitude this week? What does that look like for you? How can you practice appreciation and gratitude this week? What needs your attention this week? Not just what's going to steal your attention, but what needs your attention this week? What and who can be appreciated? Where can you practice true appreciation and gratitude? Because where you look is where you go. I hope you'll keep tuning in. We have a lot of great episodes coming next. I hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Celebrate everything around you, the people and what you have to be grateful for and appreciate in your own life and work. And remember, the best leaders, teams, and cultures on the planet stimulate progress by recalibrating their thermostat together.
Thank you for listening to today's podcast, and I hope the messages and questions stimulate positive change along your path. As always, if these messages resonate with you and add value to your life, I hope you'll help amplify them throughout the world. Please rate, comment, and share on whatever podcast or social media platform you're using. And share this podcast with the people in your life or work who should be part of these conversations. That way, this spirit does, in fact, spread. If these messages or developing leaders and culture would be helpful to your organization, or you have a question or comment about this podcast, please contact us at jasonvbarger.com. And remember, we all are ambassadors for the culture we want to create in our life and work. We have to own the vision we want to be a part of. The future of leadership is you, is me, is us. Be a thermostat.